And good morning. It is 9:30, and joining us in studio this morning from MainStreet, Roswell, Molly Boyles with us. Good morning.
Good morning. It has been a rough morning for me.
Your morning's gone to the dogs here.
Oh, my gosh. Two of my dogs got out. Didn't even know if I was going to make it here today. So, yeah.
I guess they decided, Molly needs some running. Let's go make her run for a little bit.
Are you kidding me? I drove. I don't know what you're thinking. No, I did do some walking, but I did not do any. I don't run.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm like, unless something's on fire.
Nope, my knees and hips will not allow me to run. That's for sure.
Well, good news is dogs are back home safe. So all is right in your world again.
Yes, I was terrified because of the fog.
Sure.
It was foggy. I live on the north end of town, and it was just foggy enough that I thought I've got a little dachshund.
Yeah.
And those little guys, they're so low to the ground. And I thought, oh, no.
Yeah, you won't see it till it's too late.
That was...
Well, good news is all is good. The dogs are back home.
Yes.
Back living large at the house there. So.
Yes. It was definitely the adrenaline's up high. The blood pressure has started to come back down.
Good deal.
We should be okay.
Then focus on all the work you got to do.
Right?
But good news is we got a lot of fun tonight. Tonight is First Friday.
Yes.
It is the first Friday in November. And, it's not Christmas yet, but we're not far from it.
Well, we're already getting geared up for the holidays. And tonight is Harvest from the Heart.
Yes.
And so many of our merchants are collecting items for different nonprofits.
Yeah, so bring some canned foods and food stuff items to help out if you can.
I know Imagine That and Farmhouse on 2nd and Victoria at Euphoria Hair Salon. They're all collecting both canned goods and things like beanies and jackets and
clothing items,
gloves.
Warm weather apparel.
The weather's fixing to get. We've had some cool mornings.
Yeah,
but it hasn't gotten cold yet, and people really need to be prepared for those times. And there are people that don't have the ability to go out and buy a jacket.
You know what's the nicest gift you can give that way? That's going to be. I know it's not the most sexiest or any of that stuff. Buy wool socks. Yeah. Seriously, grab wool because they keep you warm and you're wet. Yes. So for folks that are like homeless, things like that, wool socks are a godsend for them. So that if you can think about you're getting some hats, jackets, whatever, grab a couple pair of wool socks. And throw
wool
in there.
Socks are a whole different critter. If you've never worn wool socks, if you've always gone with cotton, once you've worn wool socks on a really cold day, you will never go back to cotton during the cold weather. That's for sure.
And the beauty of it is wet, dry, doesn't matter. It keeps them warm.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
It's great. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So just if you're like wanting to say, I want to do that, and you're trying to think of things, wool socks is a godsend. That's a great one. I mean, they need the coats, the hats, the canned goods, all of that. But if you're thinking about it, grab a pair or two of those wool socks and throw it in there too.
Yes. That's a fantastic suggestion. Thank you, Mike.
No problem. And of course, Imagine That they've been here forever and part of the community and everything. So every time they're doing stuff for the community, it's a good thing. So come on out and be a part of it.
And I know that Community Disaster Relief, Enrique is going to be, I believe, parked out in front of White Mattress Company because they are also taking in donations of hats, jackets, beanies. They're especially looking for. Many people will have a jacket, but not necessarily gloves or a beanie.
Okay.
So, and the socks. So those are the things I think they're trying to focus on right now is to make sure that they have those additional pieces.
Okay. So if you can bring some by there too. Yes. I know they would always appreciate monetary donations too,
absolutely.
Because they kind of a jack of all trades at Community Disaster Relief.
Yes.
The scenario in which they go to help people may not be the same every time. So they kind of have to be jack of all trades to kind of handle whatever problem's going on in there, whether it's a fire or something different,
Right. Yeah. Well, during the flooding, I know he went out and helped people. He's been there for people, fires. We had a couple of years ago, there was a family that had a loss due to a car accident, and he was able to help that family get what they needed. They weren't local, if I remember correctly, and they needed a hotel room and things like that.
Yeah, so they help out with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, he was able to help in that manner also, not just, he really does have a very large array of people that he helps. It's not just the homeless. It's not just those who have.
It's people that need help.
Right.
And if they come across his path, he helps them. And
Absolutely.
That's, you know, so he doesn't necessarily know what he's going to run into on a given day, but he wants to be prepared for whatever it is. So help out where you can. Monetarily is a good thing, but definitely bring some hats and gloves and some socks and a coat or two if you can buy there too. So do they I mean, obviously, they probably will take all children's and adults, but as far as demand goes, do you know if there's more demand for children's or adults or clothing, men's? Is there a particular they're shorter of than others, or have you heard?
I have not heard. Okay. I do know that there are several organizations that focus on children.
Okay.
So I would imagine that the majority of those needs are met because there are several different organizations that focus
so they'll
there.
Take whatever they can get and they'll categorize it. But I don't know, sometimes like, well, people aren't donating kids' coats. We need more kids' coats or something like that.
And there's always a need for every age group.
And you can be, you know what, if you want to know more specific like that, reach out to each of the organizations.
Oh, yes.
They'll be happy to talk to you. Imagine that if you want to, say, hey, is there certain foods you could use more than others? They'll be happy to say, yeah, we're short on soup or whatever it is. They can bring that.
Yes. Yes.
Definitely. So so if you really want to get involved, do that. But if not, just bring some coats and some canned goods and with you stuff up. You know what? Get you 3 or 4 of those reusable sacks, fill them up with stuff, empty them at these various places, and then refill them up with your shopping and stuff at the end. So then you've done the perfect evening.
Absolutely. Well, and I know, so Farmhouse on Second said that if you'll bring, you will bring at least 5, I believe it was 5 canned goods.
Okay.
You get 20% off of anything in the store.
Nice.
Any one item in the store, and that can make a big difference when you're starting that Christmas shopping, guys. Just saying.
And I'm just saying, I'm not a math wizard here, but you can get 5 cans for like $2 or $3, depending if you catch them on sale.
Right.
And what it is in the can, of course.
Yes.
But that 20% could be, depending on what you buy, could be hundreds of dollars.
It could be.
Do the math there.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, and she carries oh gosh, now my daughter's going to strangle me. She's got some jewelry over there that my daughter just loves, and
they got
that's
everything
on the list
for everybody. So fellas, like they've got cool stuff that you would like, decor and things, but ladies, if the foo-foo, women-y things, they got all, and so it's not just women's stuff. It's stuff for guys and stuff, football, manly things and interests too. It's not just it's really stuff for everybody. And of course, obviously, if you love like kind of that old West or that rustic theme, they definitely got you covered there too.
Yes, and that's one of those that kills me every time I go in there. I'm like, oh yeah, I could blow so much here. I'd be headed for. Yeah, I'd be in a lot of trouble. The husband would be like, excuse me?
Well,
you're not allowed back in that store.
Get yourself out of trouble. Bring 5 cans with you.
There you go.
And then you say, see, I saved money.
I saved us.
That's good logic.
Well, you can always try.
Sure.
But tonight we also have GDP's going to be out there at Reichman. So
awesome.
we're just now getting back into being able to have music and so forth. So we've got.
Are they going to be at Reichman?
Reichman.
Awesome.
Yes.
Which for folks that aren't of Reichman Park, it's the park right there between 3rd and 4th Street here.
On the west side.
If you've never been there, go in there and look around. The murals, the tile work. It's beautiful. It's just a place you can sit down. You know what? If you work downtown or in the area, go get you a sack lunch and sit there and have lunch one day and enjoy it. Yeah.
And many, I don't know how many of the people listening might have been part of that. The tiles, many of those tiles on those benches, they have signatures on them.
Aren't kids made all? Or I don't remember the story, but I know there's a story.
Anybody could go and sign a tile, and then it was fired and painted and so forth to put into the project.
I knew there was a community.
And then there was also not just the signature tiles; there were decorative tiles that are mixed in. And then the artists went through and made replicas of postcards, actual postcards.
Oh, cool.
Postcards that are at the Historical Society for Southeastern New Mexico. The artists went through and made duplicates of those.
So it's all customized stuff. That's great.
Yes.
Yeah, I knew there was a lot of local involvement in those tiles. I didn't remember all the stories about it. But and so to be honest, that's kind of a game if you want. You can go and... Because there's, like in Artesia, if you've ever been to their Heritage Walkway in Artesia, same kind of deal. You could spend hours. They've got a little canal, I guess you could call it, that kind of goes through the river kind of thing. And it's full of all kinds of hidden Easter eggs and gems and like the tile work and things. The tile work in Reichman Park, very similar to that. You could spend hours kind of looking through there and seeing like these various postcards and things like that.
And then friends' names, the signatures
looking
of
for
friends.
people you know and things like that. Absolutely.
Yes.
And while if you're on one of those kind of fun nights doing that tonight, go on over into Pioneer Plaza while you're walking around. Look at the statues there. A lot of hidden gems and stuff in there too.
Yes.
So if you like looking for that kind of, use tonight as like a way to do that, do some shopping and all that. But while you're there at Reichman Park, enjoying the music and all that stuff, take a look at that tile work.
I know that the statue at Pioneer Plaza has a bunch of Bible verses.
Yeah, the Chisholm statue there. Yeah,
yes,
there's a lot of.
There's references to the Bible verses, not written out, but the reference numbers.
Yeah.
You know,
it's a lot of homages to things. And,
yes.
Which is not uncommon in artwork and things for the artists to kind of put Easter eggs or something. I know we're getting off topic here, but just a quick example.
Why am I hearing dogs? Those are not my dogs.
I don't know. It could be. I stopped asking questions a long time ago. But like if you go like the National Gallery, the National Cathedral, I'm sorry, it's in Bethesda, Maryland, but DC, you know, the ornateness of that. But there's like gargoyles and things all around it. If you look, the artist rendering, there's one that looks like Darth Vader. There's one that looks like Yoda. I swear to God, there. If you look there at the National Cathedral and the gargoyles, if you go through, they're not all like right on display front. But as you're walking through the building and you look out certain windows and you see different angles of the cathedral, like if you look out that window, look right there. See that gargoyle? That one looks like Darth Vader. It's an homage. And there's literally hidden gems like that throughout it.
Oh, my God.
And that's common. And so I'm kind of look for the same kind of thing here because it's there. Yeah. So make that part fun. Use that as a family thing to kind of learn a little bit more about our community and come out and support. Because that's what First Friday is. It's kind of come out, strolling around, enjoying the music, and enjoying the nightlife, maybe stopping and grabbing a bite to eat. And then,
we have several restaurants downtown. I know that there's quite a bit of frustration right now with no food trucks downtown. We are still working on that.
Okay.
We hope to start that back up in January.
Okay. Well, we got to find a way to make it work for everybody, and that's what's going on.
Yes, and it'll be private parking lots. These trucks will be set up in private parking lots, but still available to everybody. They'll be easy to access.
Yeah,
so it's not like they're going to be literally behind a fence or anything like that.
Gotcha.
So
they're out in the open.
They're going to be out in the open. We're really excited to hopefully. And I say the merchants are the ones working on that part of it.
Sure.
But they really do enjoy having the trucks down there.
Well, it's a win-win for everybody.
It is. It absolutely is. It's additional traffic. And like you said, it is a win-win for everybody. They all get to, have new customers. Those customers who are used to always go, they love that food truck.
Sure.
Well, all of a sudden they're downtown going, oh, cool, I didn't know that shop was there.
Well,
and before my daughter and Kathleen kill me, the name of that jewelry is Kendra Scott.
Okay, there it is. That's the one.
So Kathleen, so sorry. Diana, sorry. It's Kendra Scott.
We're going to give your customers just a limited amount of information when they go in there and ask you, and you'll be like, oh, I know who you talk to. But no, but you're right though, because especially because we have such unique, cool shops downtown.
Oh, yes.
But if some of them are basically, if you're into certain things, if you're not there, you may have never gone in there. Where the food trucks and everything brings everybody, all walks of life together, and they're like, hey, let's go into that store. So it's an opportunity to, especially for businesses that offer niche products, to get people that aren't necessarily familiar to those things.
Yes.
So that's why it's great. So yes, it's coming. It's going to happen. We got to work out the logistics to make sure we don't step on anybody's toes. But once that's all done, it's game on. So that's the reason it's going on. It's not trying to lock somebody out or do people how people talk and turn things into things. That's what happens. But at the end of the day, it's trying to make it so we can make the best experience for the merchants, for the customers, and for our food trucks
and to keep everybody safe. That was, I think one of the concerns.
Traffic issues and stuff. It is one of the busiest, if not the busiest street in our community.
Right.
Is right there in the Main Street corridor here. So.
Yes. You got those two highways coming together, and it definitely can get packed.
Absolutely. But
and before I forget, we do also have our mascots are going to be out tonight.
Okay.
You said
speaking of dogs,
right? So they're going to be at Victoria's place and that's Euphoria Salon on 3rd and Richardson.
Okay.
And then we have them going over to Farmhouse on 2nd later.
Which
I
is
believe they're
on 2nd.
On 2nd, yes. And her building is so cool. They did such a beautiful job remodeling that.
Yeah, because that was they did a lot of work in that because it's a historical area. That whole area and those buildings and things, they're old, but those weren't originally boutiques and shops and things, so they weren't kind of built that way. So they had to do a lot of remodeling, renovating to make it into what it is today.
Yes.
So,
and I know we have another nonprofit coming out tonight, and I'll give a shout out to Carrie Moore with the Friends of the Chavez County Sheriff's Office.
Awesome.
It's an organization that I'm also involved with.
Cool.
We're going to be selling hot chocolate and cider.
Oh, nice.
So set up right there at 304 North Main.
Cool.
304. In front of Business Notions.
I just heard of this group the other day. Tell me more about Friends. I mean, obviously they're there to support the sheriff's department.
Absolutely.
There, but kind of talk about what you get, what you guys do there, doing that.
So the whole idea of this came from there. Many times when money is donated to a specific group within a governmental agency, that money goes into the general fund.
Okay.
And then it's not always easy to separate it out when it's needed for projects.
Okay.
So because the general fund is the general fund,
sure.
and each of the groups within the governmental agency gets to pull from that, right?
Gotcha. Yeah.
So this organization is set up to be able to raise funds specifically for the needs of the sheriff's office.
I got you. So if you want to help out and they need, say, I don't know, vests or canine equipment or whatever, then that's
and
what
they are
it's there
looking for donations of things like PPE.
Okay.
And then things like mints to keep, gum. Candies other than chocolates.
Gotcha.
Small toys that they can give to children.
When they're on scene, they can help out their teddy bears, things like that. Yeah.
Just literally a bag of the little twisty mints, the little circle twisty mints, whatever.
Gotcha.
Or the lifesaver type candies.
Yeah.
Those not only for the officers, but if they come across somebody who needs some sugar, because they're diabetic
or whatever, and they're having an episode.
Things like the energy bars, energy drinks.
Something like they come across homeless or something, they need a meal or they need a little help here.
Or the officer
and refusing
himself,
to go.
Or the officer himself needs, to finish out the shift and needs a little something to snack on to get through.
This might be a different one that people don't think about, but I got an opportunity to do a ride-along with the Sheriff's Department a couple years ago. It's very cool.
I just got signed up. I can't wait till I get the call.
It's very cool. It's very cool. But one of the things I learned is... And our hospitals are very good about this, but the rubber gloves, the blue gloves that they put on, like the day I went, the deputy, I was like, I got to get some. So he went, and the hospital gave him a full box of gloves. And I'm sure the hospital can't do that every time to offer these officers, but if maybe that's one of those items that we can buy for them and have these boxes of those blue gloves handy for them, because they're putting those on 100 times a day,
absolutely,
to protect themselves and others, obviously.
And that was one of the things that I did actually discuss with them, that they do need the gloves for many different reasons, including keeping themselves and others safe.
Yeah.
And they can't do the really thin gloves.
They need the thicker, more. That's probably why they get them from the hospital, because those are probably a better grade.
Or the ones that are used by mechanics.
Okay.
Because those are specially made to not fall apart with the use of chemicals. So they tend to be a little thicker.
Okay.
And they're made of whatever type of the propylene or whatever type of material. So it
protects them a little better.
Yes. And the thing is they don't come off as easily.
Gotcha.
One officer was telling me that during a tussle with an individual, her glove got ripped off.
Gotcha.
And so then she's
exposed.
She's exposed. And she said, it's just that some of those gloves are so thin that they easily rip. And so it did. It ripped. And then she had one hand that was still gloved and one that was not.
And I'm pretty sure the person she was dealing with didn't say, hey, can you stop a sec? I got to replace my glove.
No.
Then we can get back to it.
Right. No, that's definitely not it. But let me tell you that the sheriff's office is also trying to start up an explorer group, which is very. I know that the Roswell Police Department has an explorer
through the scouts, through scouting. Yes, it's a great their explorer program.
And that is one of those other things that there are several expenses related to that. The kids are asked to have specific
equipment and uniforming.
Uniforms. Uniforms is what it comes down to.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we're hoping to do is get a good breakdown of what that would cost per child.
Okay.
And people can sponsor a child.
Yeah.
Maybe not specifically by name. We probably can't do it that way, but,
sure.
And we would have some sort of, the plan is to hopefully be able to have some sort of thank you, either a pin or a T-shirt or something where that person is recognized as having been a sponsor for the Explorers.
And by the way, this is an awesome tool for the police department as well, because obviously it's a connection with youth in our community and things like that, but it's also a grooming tool for law enforcement. These kids that are interested in becoming police explorers, most of them are also wanting to pursue a career in law enforcement.
Yes.
So they're kind of learning the ins and outs of law enforcement before they even step foot in an academy or a college classroom or any place where they're going to do formal training for law enforcement. And so now they kind of how it works and if they want to do it, but it also sets the table. And and I would imagine if they're I'm sure the Roswell PD and their explorers, some of those will end up being police officers here for the Roswell Police Department, Chaves County Sheriff's Office, saying, "Hey, we'll take some of ours, and maybe they're going to be sheriff's deputies now, and here in 5 years or 10 years down, depending on how old they are, down the road here, So that's what it's. So it's helpful there. It's great for our youth and giving them opportunities and a potential career opportunity and things like that. But at the same time, we're also feeding the system here to make sure we have qualified, good people serving in law enforcement roles well into the future here.
Yes.
So it's a win-win for everybody.
Absolutely.
So help out. It's a great way to. So if you want to learn more,
I'd
talk to Molly. Talk to Molly here, and she'll be happy to tell you about being a friends of the Chaves County Sheriff.
I'll be down there. I'll be down there tonight.
Okay.
But if you don't mind, if I could hit on a few other things.
Yeah, we're running short on time, so we need to move on. Yeah.
So we have, of course, we have our Small Business Saturday coming up on the 27th.
Yes.
So that is that Saturday right after Thanksgiving.
After Thanksgiving, yeah.
We just got the email yesterday that MainStreet Roswell is going to be what they call a neighborhood champion.
Okay.
So we're expecting a bag of goodies that we can hand out to the businesses that they can then hand out to their customers.
Okay.
Many of the businesses will do it, either the first 10 people through the door, or, if you spend X number of dollars, you get this bag or whatever type of swag. We never know what we're going to get until it gets here.
Gotcha.
But it's usually pretty cool stuff.
They don't shortchange you. They usually get hooked you up pretty good there.
It's gotten a little smaller over the years, but I
imagine COVID takes part of that role into that little thing. But
and I know we had several businesses that were concerned that there might be another shutdown. So we have told them if God forbid there's another shutdown, we will do what we did last year. It was actually kind of fun. It was hectic, but it was fun. Juliana and I did a round robin, I guess is what you would call it. I started at one business with a live sale.
Okay.
Ran it for 30 minutes. As soon as I shut mine down, Juliana was at another business and started a live sale. So we had
like a round robin.
Yes.
Like a video telethon sale kind of thing. Yeah.
And it was actually pretty cool. And all the businesses said that they really did well with it. It was a struggle because we were coming into the holidays when many of the businesses truly do rely on those sales to make it, make their year complete and have that.
The reason it's Black Friday weekend and they call it that. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people don't understand that Black Friday, what it is a lot of businesses are running in the red, meaning losing money because of how much they've ordered in during the year. And until Black Friday hits, they're still in the red in ink, but Black Friday puts them in the black.
That's when they make the profits.
That's when the profits actually start.
And they actually can put food on the table and do the things that they got into business for.
Exactly. Everybody assumes, businesses make money every day. Well,
not money for you necessarily.
Not money for the business owner. Yes, they can pay their bills, but they're not making any profit up until this time of the year.
They're covering the cost of what it takes to run the business.
Yes, for the entire year.
That's why being a local business owner is very hard. And I know a lot of people go in it with the dreams of being your own boss and all that, and then they learn the hard way that being your own boss means your boss can be a jerk because you gotta, you know what I mean? You got to work to get it happening, or guess what? Your boss is going to fire you, and you're it.
One of the things that I would tell people when I had once again was, I always dreamed of having my own business, and I own my own business. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
My business owns me.
That's kind of where it goes.
I don't usually get weekends off. Sometimes they're having to work on Sunday.
Sure.
You know, when you get home at 9 o'clock at night, even though the store closed at 5 or 6.
Right.
Yeah. You're busy.
And those are lessons learned, and then you get better at it, hopefully.
Yes, you do. And then you find the right people to help you along the way, you know, the employees. But that's
why Small Business Saturday is so important.
Yes.
So get out here, support these businesses, come on down. Talk to them, especially if you're looking for certain things. This is the difference, and I don't want to get. I'm starting to get windbaggy, and I don't want to, but I'm telling you, the local businesses, especially if you're looking for products and things, they're going to be the most knowledgeable. If you're looking for like cookware or something, you know, you go to the big box stores and you kind of do your own looking, but you go to a specialty store that does that specific thing. They can tell you this is why you want this stuff and this is why it's better. Sure, it may be $10 cheaper, but guess what? That'll be broke in a year.
Right?
This stuff you'll be passing down to your kids, you know, and that's the difference. And that's where it is. And so shop local. And use a Small Business Saturday. You don't have to wait till then. Shop there now, but make sure you get out there and hit some of our local businesses and local merchants.
Yeah. And so before we run out of time, I'm going to try to hit these really fast, and I hate to cut them short. I'd love to be able to come back in later and talk more about them. So on the first Friday in December, which is December 3rd, it's going to be a little bit different.
Okay.
We're going to have a holiday community tree lighting there at the county courthouse. It looks like it's going to be at the top of the stairs between the pillars.
Okay.
So and there's going to be a concert
on the steps of the courthouse.
On the steps of the courthouse. Cool. We're going to have several different choirs come in. Okay. So we're going to have live music.
It's very Christmas themed, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and this is all thanks to Devin Bullock. She
cool.
she has really taken this and run with it. She's been a great volunteer with our organization, doing so much great work.
And I imagine this is a great opportunity because, you know, like Jazz Festival, these things have been put on the back burners because of COVID. Right. And I imagine there's a lot of artists of that caliber in that area that are ready to do stuff. Well, and so we're going to get.
She's concentrating on the churches and school choirs.
Okay, I got you.
So, and then we're going to finish off that evening with the showing of the 2000 How the Grinch Stole Christmas. So that's the Jim Carrey version.
Okay, the Jim Carrey version, the live action version. Yeah.
What we've asked all of our merchants to do this year is to decorate their stores in a Whoville theme.
Okay.
And then the next day, Saturday, we have the holiday in Whoville tour.
Cool.
So what we're going to do is we're going to have businesses, and if you need information, call MainStreet at 914-8017. I'll give you that number again in a few minutes. But we want businesses to come out and set up displays. Okay. You can set it up on a trailer or flat. You'll have all day to set it up. We're going to be behind the convention center and behind De Bremen.
Okay.
And the exciting thing that we just got, I think my husband thought I was having a stroke when I was talking to Brandon about this. We had a call and this guy said, hey, I'd like to set up a display. We're usually in the parade and I'd like to set up a display. I understand it's a static display, so I have something different in mind. I just don't know if it's going to work. And I'm like, okay, what is it? And he goes, I want to do a 200-foot Christmas tree. And I went, what? And my husband's looking at me, he goes, are you okay? I'm like, I think.
That's cool.
So Brandon Arnold with Custom Construction is bringing in his crane and his 18-wheeler. So he's going to back those 18-wheelers up to one another. The crane will be behind them. Okay. And he's going to raise that crane with strings of lights
and make like a Christmas tree out of lights.
200 feet. He's got he's planning a 33-foot star.
Wow.
I mean, this is literally, he had to call out to the airport.
I imagine, because this might mess with the traffic controlling situations.
So guys, we're so excited to be able to announce that.
That's cool.
Only a few people know about that so far. So now
look for that December 3rd.
December 4th.
First Friday, December 4th, I'm sorry.
That's on Saturday.
The first Friday weekend there.
The first Friday weekend, right. So we are really looking forward, because it's going to be a static display. We are hoping more businesses will get involved because, like I said, you'll have all day to set up.
Yeah.
We're
so mark it on
excited.
your calendars and get ready.
Yes, December 3rd and 4th. But come out tonight. If you need some more information, I'll have flyers for you.
And
I know we're out of time.
Bring
I'm
out
so sorry.
Lots of cans of Who Hash to help others in need.
There you go.
Keep with the Grinch theme.
Thank you.
I would love to see if you keep your Grinch theme going for the next one.
Yeah.
If you incorporate a can of Who Hash somewhere in it, I would be very happy. I don't know why, but ever since I was a kid, when they do the poem of the cartoon, he goes right down to the last can of Who Hash. I laugh every time I hear that line, and I don't know why. I'm a child, but I do.
We'll see what we can do for you. I got several really creative friends.
Love me some Who Hash.
Thank you for being patient and waiting on me
Thank you,
today.
and thank goodness your dogs are back here, and so all's good. So we'll see you guys tonight, I guess.
All right. Sounds like a plan.
Take care.
You.
Thank you.
Bye.
It is.